Hey there, it's Tom Graham from Avid Audio. We're here at the NAMM show in Los Angeles. It's an exciting year. We got a lot of announcements to tell you about. The first one that's really exciting is the idea that everybody should have their opportunity to record their masterpiece, their art, and tell their story. So we're announcing at the show 16 tracks of Pro Tools, 16 audio tracks, 16 MIDI tracks, 16 instrument tracks, a bunch of aux tracks and master faders, plugins, a virtual instrument called Expand 2, which has up to 2,500 patches, and it's all available for the low, low price of free. So really exciting and available soon, so check that out.
So hold on a minute. Free, you used to do a kind of free one as well. Is this kind of harking back to just kind of get into more machines?
Yeah, this is that sort of version of free was pretty feature limited. This is really limited, so to speak, to 3 projects, which will be stored in the cloud. But essentially, it's Pro Tools. I mean, there's 4 inserts per track, 4 sends per track. It's a very powerful, full-featured version of Pro Tools.
And can you run plugins in it if you want as well?
Yeah, full plugin support. I believe it comes with about 20 plugins, and you have the option to add more as well.
And I guess there's an upgrade path, right?
Yes, so let's talk about that a little bit. The other big announcement at the show is flexible options to own or license Pro Tools. There's 2 options. The traditional way is to buy it outright for $8.99, the standard version of Pro Tools, and that comes with a full year of support. Any new features that we come out with during that year, you're able to download them instantly. The other way to get Pro Tools is now called subscription, where you can either subscribe monthly for the low price of $29.99 a month, that's US dollars. If you choose to subscribe for the whole year, it's under $25 US dollars, less than $1 a day. You can have Pro Tools with no investment cost, upfront cost, basically.
And does that work across all versions? So DSP and also
No, so that would be the upgrade path from Pro Tools first would be to the Pro Tools standard version. If you're interested in the HD software, well, that requires hardware, so you would need to buy a full license for that.
And is that happening now, or when?
That'll be happening very shortly, so in the coming month or so.
And there's going to be no there's parity across the version of Pro Tools and Pro Tools Standard. So when you add features to one, will the other one get them as well? How's that going to work?
That's correct. So for instance, one of the new features that we're talking about and showing at the show is Collboration and the Marketplace. So the idea that you and I could be collaborating across the globe, writing a song together, sharing tracks, and that will be available at all versions of Pro Tools, including first.
That sounds really interesting. Have we got more details on that? Because that sounds, and also that
sure. Should we pop over to that area?
Yeah, we can edit that bit.
All right. So we're around the other side of the booth here, and we'll give you a little sort of preview of what the idea of the marketplace and cloud collaboration is really about. So we've launched Pro Tools. I'm here in Los Angeles for the sake of the demo, and my partner over here, Dave Tyler, is in the UK.
Bristol, maybe. Or Brighton.
He might be in Brighton or Bristol. We don't know, really. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and log into the cloud.
If you just explain what's going on.
We're on the home page here, and I've logged in. You can see how much cloud storage I've used, and any information about updates that I may have, and any messages I may have pending. So what Dave's going to do on his system is essentially choose what elements he wants to share with me, but he does that by creating a project. And in that project, there can be all sorts of metadata listed about type of music, the players, who played on it, genre, and he's going to go ahead and now select the collaborators and choose my name and send me an invite. So you can see in a matter of seconds on my page here, I've got an invitation down here at the bottom that says, hey, I can accept this project. I go ahead and say accept, and now we can have a video chat or an audio chat. And we're going to go ahead and say, I'd love you to play on my part or edit this piece for me. So at this point, Dave can now select on the Collaboration tab in Pro Tools literally what tracks he wants to share with me. In this case, he's going to share the percussion tracks. And once he's selected them, I'm going to go ahead on my side and download that session and just save it to the desktop.
And is that full resolution files, or is that proxy files that's working with?
I believe it's full resolution, Dave. Is that right? Yeah. So you can see now the session is downloading from the cloud, and all the waveforms are coming online, and I've got the markers, the tempo, etc. Now, if I was going to play on this track, I could add a new track and do that. I'm not going to do that. We'll just show you how this works, where I could actually do some edits to what Dave has sent me. I could maybe even insert a plugin like a let's see here, a dynamics plugin, and say we want the BF2A. So I put a plugin on there, maybe I do some settings to it, etc. And you'll now see the upload arrow is lit up on these tracks. So I can choose to go ahead and send my changes to Dave by clicking on those tracks. And within a second or two on his side, you'll see the download arrow up at the top light up, and he's able to just accept those changes, and you'll see he's got a plugin alert, the plugin pops in, and any of the edits. Now this could be new performances, new guitars, etc., etc., and we can collaborate back and forth, really as if he was right next to me in the same room, which...
I'm standing on kind of the equator, I guess, or something like that, in the middle of the Atlantic.
Prime Meridian. No, that's you guys own that.
So I guess without adding extra audio, you're just sending metadata to and fro.
That's
really
correct.
fast.
At this point, without me tracking or performing, it would just be metadata that you'd be seeing. But of course, I could create new tracks, or even, let's say, for instance, I created 20 new tracks of backing vocals. I could actually freeze those into a stereo mix so that he wouldn't have to send him all 20, and he could keep that if he wanted, or I could send him the separates. There's plenty of flexibility.
And what about the situation where you get, I can't stop tweaking, I actually did some edits, so which takes precedence?
He can choose what would take precedence. In other words, he doesn't have to accept the changes on certain tracks if he doesn't want them. So he could just accept audio changes, not mixing changes or automation.
So I guess versioning is the sort of thing that's the challenge in this situation.
Sure, right? Sure. And one of the other elements that we're sort of working with the marketplace aspect is that finding people like Dave who would want to collaborate with me. There'll be a whole artist community that we're working on building. And that will be anybody that has Pro Tools, or even really doesn't even have to have Pro Tools, who wants to collaborate with other players, share their work, and there'll also be a marketplace to purchase plugins without having to leave Pro Tools. You'll literally be able to select a plugin that, say, Dave sent me that I don't have, and I'm able to buy it instantaneously without quitting Pro Tools.
Right.
So,
I mean, when you say looking for personnel, I mean, I guess you could, you've got a drum track and you, hey, I haven't got time to straighten this out and put it on the fours. Can someone do this for me?
That's correct. So you can even find, say, someone of an exotic instrument, maybe that has a Pro Tools system and will record tracks for you, like a djembe or a didgeridoo. I don't know. But the idea is fostering a community that allows people to connect and collaborate and share their work. There's also the ability to license or sell your sound or your music in the Avid Marketplace. So obviously Pro Tools is the industry standard. Media professionals for film, TV, radio are always looking for music for their pieces, and what better way to find it than on the Avid Marketplace and be able to license that. So I have music, I want to monetize some of that music just sitting around at my house, and the Avid Marketplace will present that opportunity.
And you could do that on so the whole session could be managed, so you'd send them the documents so people could pick it apart?
That's a fantastic point. So you could actually give them a stereo mix, you could give them stems, you could give them the full Pro Tools session with all the plugins and the automation. It's your choice what you want to license at that point.
So, I mean, this isn't the first time it's been tried, so I mean, you obviously feel pretty confident this is going to work
Well, I think it's different in many ways. One is the fact of the entire Avid Marketplace and all the functionality I mentioned in a community of finding and collaborating and being able to share work, almost like a SoundCloud meets Facebook meets Pro Tools meets Avid on a global scale. I really think as well there's so many Pro Tools users out there in the world that the power of the people will be.
So is there? I mean, I didn't quite see the communication thing. So if I'm working on a session and there's a whole bunch of people going, hey, do you need a hi-hat? Does that get in the way, or can you block all that stuff out?
Well, you can choose who you're communicating with, so you don't. It doesn't have to go out to the whole group. So the communication aspects, some of it's still being ironed out. This is really a technology preview of what's coming this year, but.
So it seems like there's quite a big cloud aspect to this. Is this an additional paid-for service, or is it just?
Well, if you get on Pro Tools 12, the options that we mentioned earlier for a subscription or a perpetual license, you will have access to all of these features across all of Pro Tools, and you'll get a certain amount of storage included with that in the cloud in projects. If you want to go beyond that, those projects amounts or that storage amount, you can of course pay for that, and we don't have that pricing model announced yet.
So does this tie in with the idea of backing up projects and keeping things sort of off-site backups as well?
That's another fantastic point. You are a great interviewer. Basically, we will offer cloud storage and archival abilities. And if your house were to burn down, you only had it on that hard drive, having it stored in the cloud is a great way to back it up.
I mean, I speak to a bunch of producers regularly on this matter, and some of them are still a little bit, I'm not sure I want my outtakes up there somewhere on the cloud. I mean, how does the security work?
So it's all about security, and we understand that. So I don't have the specifics of that detail. I'm sure we could talk about that with our product managers, but essentially it will be fully secure.
And this is all available now, or is this rolling out soon?
Well, as far as the Pro Tools licensing scheme that we talked about with Pro Tools 12, that's coming very soon. If you're on Pro Tools 12, you have the ability to sign up for a chance to join the early access program, which will be coming this spring. So essentially you'll have the chance to get on board and be one of the first people using this and testing this cloud collaboration and marketplace functionality.
And so people can just access, they can choose to sign up for that, right?
Yeah, you have to have Pro Tools 12, but we have an early access sign up page that you can just log in, put your information in, and it'll be pretty much a first come, first served basis. And we'd love to have you trying out Pro Tools Cloud Collaboration, Avid Cloud Collaboration.
Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.